Now we are going to see different type of diseases, bacterial diseases, little more detail. The first one, shigellosis. See the spelling, S-H-I-G-E, shigellosis. It is the name of the disease. It is a bacillary dysentery. It is a dysentery caused by bacteria. That is called a bacillary dysentery. What is the name of the causative agent? The causative agent means name of the microorganism. It is a Shigella species. What is that? Shigella species. Species means there are so many varieties, but everything is causing this particular disease. These bacteria are infecting the intestine of man. That is called a site of infection. They may enter through the nose, they may enter through the mouth, they may enter through the skin, whatever it is, finally they will settle in the intestine. Mode of transmission, how they are transferred from person to person, we have to see. Contaminated food and water. What is the meaning of contaminated? Impure water and unhygienic food material. That is called food and water contaminated by fecal matter. That means the water or the air or the food or having indirect contact with fecal matter, undigested food material, or that is also called fecal oral route. Now I'll give one simple example for this fecal oral route, that is through food and water contamination by feces. Suppose dirty place is there, okay, some fecal matter is present, one housefly is sitting on that. Now at that time on the fecal matter and the housefly is sitting, bacteria will attach with the legs. The same housefly is coming and sitting on the eating plate or sitting on the foodstuff. The bacteria which are already attached with the legs of the housefly from the fecal matter will be dropped on the plate or on the food without knowing that we are consuming the food, so the bacteria will enter. That is called fecal oral. Fecal means fecal matter, and there is a waste matter, and also oral means mouth cavity. From the fecal matter through the oral cavity we are entering into our body. Now what are the symptoms of the disease? We have to see. Once these bacteria enter into the intestine, they grow, they multiply. After that they are causing abdominal pain, severe abdominal pain, stomach pain will be there. Dehydration. Dehydration means either vomiting or diarrhea. As a result of which our body is losing water. That is the dehydration. Blood and mucus in the stool. In the stool means fecal matter. The excretory undigested food material, that is called stool, but in the stool blood and mucus will come out, so that we are calling it as a dysentery. So that bacillary dysentery. It is the first disease. Second disease, bubonic plague. I already told you, plague means microorganisms enter into the body, damaging the vital organs and making the organs to swell, and severe pain will be there. It is also called a black death, common name, black death, for any type of plague. The plague is caused by a type of bacteria called Yersinia pestis. See the spelling, Y-E-R, Yersinia pestis. Now the site of infection will be there. They may enter through the mosquito bite actually, and they are settling in the lymph nodes. We know very well, lymphatic system. The lymph is a colorless fluid separated from the blood. It is collected by some vessels called the lymph vessels. When the lymph vessels are taking the lymph from one place to another, some bulging portions will be there in the lymph vessels. They are called lymph nodes. They are also called lymph glands. These bacteria are settling in the lymph nodes. As a result of which, lymph nodes will be enlarging and the blockage will be there. Lymph cannot flow properly as a result of this. That is, lymph node will be the place of infection. Then how they are transferred from one person to another? Rat flea is a vector. Rat flea. Flea means fly. Okay, insect. Rat flea means it is biting the rat, sucking the blood. At the same time, it can suck the blood from human body also. It can bite the human body also. So rat flea is a vector. Vector means any animal which is carrying microorganism from one person to another. That is called a vector. Mostly insects. Insect vector. Rat flea vector. What is the name of the rat flea? We have to say Xenophila Chopis. Xenophila chopis. Very shortly we can call as Xenophila. Now that is an insect. Now we are going to see the symptom. Fever will be there, body temperature will be increasing, severe headache will be there, and swollen lymph nodes. The lymph nodes will be swollen. Severe pain will be there. The flow of a lymph will not be there. As a result of it, where the infection is present, that region will be swollen very bigger. That is called a bubonic plague. Then we are coming to the third disease, diphtheria. Okay, the bacterial disease is called diphtheria. The diphtheria is caused by Corin bacterium. C-O-R-Y-N-E. Corin. We have to call it as Corin. Corin bacterium diphtheriae. Name of the bacteria will be Corin bacterium diphtheriae. Then what is the site of infection we have to see? They are infected in the larynx. Larynx means voice box. They are present in the throat. That with the help of that only we can talk. The voice will come out. That is called the larynx, otherwise called the what? Voice box. That will be infected. Sometimes when the throat infection is there, we will not be able to speak properly. That is because of this infection. Larynx, skin, anywhere. The skin infection will be there. Nasal and the genital passage. Nasal, nose. The internal nose will be affected. Nasal infection and the genital passage, reproductive passages. Anywhere the bacteria can go and settle and causing problem. Then droplet infection. How it is spreading from one person to another? By sneezing or coughing. Okay. Through air the droplets will be floating. Already I told you what is the meaning of droplet infection. The invisible droplets of mucus which is carrying lot of bacteria or viruses. That is called a droplet through droplet infection. Then what are the symptoms you have to see? Fever, sore throat. That means the throat is not alright. When you are talking also, it will be very, very rough. That is called a sore throat. Severe pain will be there. Hoarseness. Hoarseness means voice will not be normal. And a difficulty in breathing because throat is affected. Nose will be blocked. Lungs will be blocked. As a result of it, normal breathing will not be possible. Then the fourth disease we are going to study, it is called cholera. Now the cholera is caused by Vibrio cholerae. Now see that cholerae, A-E. Vibrio cholerae is the name of the bacteria which are causing that. Intestine is the site of infection. Normally these Vibrio cholerae will enter into one person's body through the mouth, through contaminated water, through contaminated food, by touching the other person. By that it is entering. Finally they are going and settling in the intestine and producing toxin, poison. As a result of which the disease is caused. Now what is the mode of transfer? Contaminated food. That means the food is unhygienic where lot of bacteria, Vibrio cholerae will be present. Contaminated food and water. Fecal oral route. I already told you what is the meaning of fecal oral route. Microorganisms are carried from the fecal matter to the mouth of the person. Then we are coming to the symptoms. Severe diarrhea. Uncontrolled diarrhea will be there. Watery stool we can say. As a result of which the tissues in the body are losing too much of water. That is called dehydration. Okay. Severe diarrhea. Not only diarrhea will be there, even vomiting. Uncontrolled vomiting will also be there. So much of water is lost from the body. That is called dehydration. When too much of water is removed from the body, the cells, tissues are shrinking. One particular stage, when the water is becoming minimum, it leads to the death of the person. That is the importance of dehydration. So we have to be very, very careful with that. Then the fifth disease is tetanus. Now the tetanus is also called lockjaw. I will tell about this, how it is a lockjaw. Now the tetanus is caused by Clostridium tetani. Is the name of the bacterial cells, Clostridium tetani. Now it is causing a problem. The place of infection will be muscles. Now they are settling in the muscles, important muscles. The muscles may be in the neck, the muscles may be in the chest, the muscles may be in the abdomen, anywhere. Spasm of muscles is causing. What is the meaning of spasm? Spasm means severe pain. That is called a spasm. See the spelling for S-P-A-S-M. Okay, but we have to pronounce it as spasm. Spasm of muscles. Muscles are giving severe pain. Next, that is the mode of infection through wound infection. What is the wound infection? Already we have some injuries in our body. Maybe it may be small injuries, scratches, or some other deep injuries also. But if the injuries, external injuries, are not treated properly, if it is not given first aid, these bacteria will have the chance to enter into the body through the wound. So that is called a wound infection. Not through the nose, not through the mouth, or not through any other natural way, but by the injured regions they are entering. Now, as a result of this, what are the symptoms will be caused? As rigidity of jaw muscles. Now, the jaw, lower jaw is moving so that we will be able to eat, we can talk. Lower jaw, for that some muscles are there, the sides in the neck and all. Now, these muscles are infected, they are swollen and giving severe pain. As a result of it, the lower jaw is completely knocked with the upper jaw. The person is unable to open the mouth. That is called rigidity of jaw muscle. So that is also called a locked jaw. That is only called a locked jaw. What is given here? Then we are coming to the next one. Increase the heartbeat rate. Now, normal heartbeat is 72 times per minute. It is average. But what will happen? The heartbeat rate is increasing. The heart is beating very, very faster. That is the next one. Spasm of the muscles of the jaw and chest. Now, spasm of the muscles of the jaw. Just now I told you, spasm, pain. If the person is trying to open the mouth, which is jaw is locked, but severe pain will be there, so they cannot open. Next one is, there will be severe pain in the chest muscles. Chest muscles are very, very important for breathing. But the person is finding it very difficult to breathe. So it leads to the death of the person. That is tetanus. The next bacterial disease is typhoid. The typhoid is also called enteric fever. The enteric means intestine. The infection in the intestine, as a result of which fever is coming. That is called enteric fever. Typhoid is caused by a type of bacterial cells called Salmonella typhi, the name of the bacteria. Now they are infecting this intestine. How they are entering into the body? We have to see mode of transfer through contaminated food and water, unhygienic food and water. The symptoms are headache, severe headache will be there, abdominal discomfort, that means abdominal pain will be there, fever, high fever will be there, and also diarrhea. Okay, the loose motion will be there. These are all the symptoms of typhoid. The seventh bacterial disease is pneumonia. The pneumonia is caused by Streptococcus pneumoniae. It is also called the Diplococcus pneumoniae. Streptococcus pneumoniae. They are affecting the lungs. They are entering into the body and they are affecting the lungs. How they are entering into our body? That is due to droplet infection. Very often we have discussed about what is the droplet infection. When we sneeze or cough, the mucus droplets, invisible mucus droplets will come with the hundreds of bacteria. That is called a droplet infection. Then what are the symptoms of pneumonia? You have to say. The first symptom is fever. The next symptom is the cough. Next, painful breathing. When you are breathing, the muscles of the chest are giving too much of pain. That is painful breathing. And brown sputum. Sputum means the thick mucus which is coming out of the throat at the time of coughing. That is called a sputum. It is also called a phlegm. Another term, common name is phlegm. Sputum. The sputum will be dark brown in color. Now these are all the symptoms for pneumonia. The last bacterial disease is tuberculosis. The tuberculosis is caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Name of the bacterium, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. These tuberculosis causing bacteria are also attacking the lungs. But in our book it is given only lungs, but it can attack any organ present in the body. It can attack the brain, spinal cord, bone marrow, liver, kidney, everything. That is all the organs, but in our book it is given lungs. They are entering into our body through droplet infection. And what are the symptoms you have to see? Thick, mucopluent, nasal discharge. Now we have to say everything together, only one. Very thick mucus will come from the nose. That is called nasal discharge. Nasal discharge means the mucus is oozing out of the nose. Now it is mucopluent. Okay, mucopluent. That means very thick and a continuous flow will be present. Mucus will be continuously flowing through that nasal discharge. So thick, mucopluent, nasal discharge. Now these are all the symptoms. That is, no nasal discharge will be there, but very often cough and cough will be there. Now these are all the bacterial diseases.